Hey guys, this is Patrick Sukup with Sukup Real Estate Services in Fort Collins, Colorado. I'm about to bring you guys something that I'm really excited about because it was a lot of great learning for me, but it's gonna be a 4-part series about the Fort Collins matrix, as I'm gonna call it. And I'm gonna be doing this every 6 months. I think that gives us enough time to have a difference in the real estate market, and it's just such a slow developing market and sector of our economy. I feel like 6 months is going to do it. But if you are or have been around Fort Collins, you'll notice that essentially Fort Collins is divided by streets that are separated by 1 mile, northwest, east, south. And what we are going to look at is going to be a 4-part series here in Fort Collins. As I've grown up in Fort Collins, the center of Fort Collins has really changed. It used to be Drake and College, or I should say, it used to be really Prospect and College. And then it moved to kind of Drake and College. College is kind of stuck to be our midpoint, Highway 287, but it seems to keep going south because we seem to keep growing south. So to stick with some historical relevance, we're going to keep our main cross streets of our center point is College and Prospect. But as you guys can see, going from north to south, our main roads are going to be Vine, Mulberry, Prospect, Drake, Horsetooth, Harmony, and Trilby. And then heading from west to east, we'll see Overland, Taft Hill, Shields, College, LeMay, and Timberline. So our main artery, is going to be College. This is our northwest dividing street, midpoint, Highway 287. You can pretty much get from here south as far as you want to go and north up to Wyoming. And then our middle line heading from east to west is going to be Prospect. Again, I feel like today it's going to be closer to Drake, but we will stick with a historical line of Prospect. As you can see, there are 30 squares here in this matrix, but really, I mean, Trilby and Overland, there's not much going on, so we will take out some of these squares, but in reality, we could even go 1 street further south to Carpenter, and maybe even 1 street further east to Ziegler. But for now, just to keep numbers and the heart of really Fort Collins, we're gonna keep on these main quadrants, these northwest, northeast, southwest, and southeast. So for color's sake, we will do our northwest quadrant as pink. Northwest, that's going to be part 1. Part 2 is going to be our northeast quadrant, and that's going to be orange. Moving south, which will have more quadrants, so will take longer, but we'll go with blue for our southwest quadrant. And yellow for our southeast. So for reference purposes, if we begin to discuss northwest, northeast, southwest, southeast, that's College and Prospect. Those are our main dividing lines. I really hope you guys enjoy this, as I'm going to enjoy putting it on and really learning and digging down into these kind of square miles that dictate the real estate market in their respective areas. So part 1 of our Fort Collins matrix is going to look at the northwest quadrant of the Fort Collins areas. What we'll see here is CSU properties, downtown, your downtown bungalow types, but also you're going to kind of see a little bit more rural areas and how much even just 1 mile can differentiate a real estate market within Fort Collins. So jumping into part one of our 4-part series, the northwestern quadrant of Fort Collins. A reminder, our area is going to be Vine, Mulberry, and Prospect, everything north. And then from east to west, Overland, Taft, Shields, and College. That's our quadrant. As our matrix, it's a 30-box matrix. We're going to be in 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, and 8. So our furthest northwest quadrant, or box of Fort Collins, is going to be basically north of Mulberry and west of Taft Hill to Overland. And we're going to see a median sales price of $387, about 1,400 square foot per house, $268 per foot, 0.32 acres. So that's going to be where you're going to see a lot more land, less house, but for a good value because you're a little bit more rural. But I definitely like this area, developing close to town. That being said, more lot, less house. So there you'll pump up a little bit of the price per square foot. But as you can see, 52 days on market. Everything here is going to be less than 65 days on market. Fort Collins obviously is still an extremely strong market with as low as 37 days on market. So, jumping over, we're kind of getting into our downtown area. As you're going to see, the biggest thing here is going to be your price per square foot of $344 per foot. It's going to be our most expensive per foot area in this matrix analysis. So again, your downtown houses are going to be almost half of the lot. So you're going to go from a 0.32 acre lot to a 0.15 acre lot. So, and you will get a little bit more house, but not much. You are paying for location. These two, this matrix number 2 and number 3, are truly, you're going to be your downtown areas. So you're going to pay more price per square foot, up in the 300s, less lot. Square footage for the house is going to be 1,700 square feet, and people are very they're very desired homes. So long as they are priced right, they are going to sell. Median price point $420,000, $472,000 right here. Getting a little bit further down, this number 8 is really, let's kind of leave that by itself. There was only 2 houses that have sold since January in that area, mostly because it is essentially all of CSU. When we're talking Shields, Mulberry, Prospect, and College, this is CSU. There's a little bit of houses right up here, but not much. So really not good data. So we'll leave that alone. But then kind of Renterville, USA for college rentals. Both of these, this is a little bit further south than what this area is. So a little bit less desirable of an area, still downtown, but more college rentals. Once you get south of that Mulberry kind of border, it definitely jumps from downtown houses to student rentals. And you're going to see that reflected in the price at $373, price per foot $224. You'll get a little bit more lot, but the houses are extremely desired, only sit on the market for 37 days. And our last quadrant that we're going to look at again is Renterville, USA. I myself own pretty much all of my rentals in this quadrant right here. Duplexes, fourplexes, single families are scattered a little bit throughout the rest of Fort Collins, but $379, 1,800 square feet, $225 per foot, 0.17 acres, 41 days on market. So really, if we're looking at it, this northwest quadrant comprises of downtown CSU rentals, downtown houses, CSU rentals, and then again, a mix of some really rural, larger lots, less house, but again, for a really attractive price at that $387,000 median price point for those homes. We're going to jump into part 2, 3, and 4, looking at the different quadrants, but we're going to keep this analysis going every 6 months, looking at the end of June, beginning of July, and again at the beginning of the year, end of the year, so that we can just really keep in touch with what's going on, how they're developing, and these big barriers, see what happens when you cross over from Shield or from Taft Hill in your downtown area, just literally across the way. So very interesting stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I do looking at this. Definitely going to refer to it myself. I hope you do as well, and look forward to creating this again here in the next 6 months. Coming part 2, looking at the northeast quadrant. Thanks so much. Take care.